What's up, everybody, and welcome to episode 13 of the Stand Up Guys podcast. I'm your host, the incomparable Zach Jones, alongside... Well, actually, let me just give everybody a rundown of what the show is. So basically, this is just a conversational show where we will bring random topics of conversation, current events, and weird news stories from the week to the table, and we will try our best to make something funny, or if not funny, at least entertaining out of it. Joining me in this endeavor is the leaping Lanny Poffo to my macho man, Randy Savage, Lester Jones.
I'm Lester.
And also with us... the ninth wonder, Chocolate Thunder, eating that poon, never stopping too soon, the clit licking, never quitting, having fun, making pussies run, the phenomenal one, A.J. Singh.
Hello, everyone.
For people who haven't listened, make sure, if you will, give us a like, subscribe, give us some good feedback in the comments. Give us a positive review. Before we get going, guys, where can everybody find you on Twitter? AJ.
I am a name for this too, and that's the number 2.
And Lester?
Unsolicited SUG.
And you can find me at Zach Jones Live. That's ZachJonesLive. And AJ, I heard you almost pooped your pants today.
Well, yeah, there goes the big reveal. But yeah, oh my gosh, waking up in the morning, you never know what's going to happen with me. Like, I take my medication at night, and it helps me go to sleep. And I wake up in the morning, and I'm just like...
covered in poop.
I mean, I could have been. It was close. I mean... I ran upstairs and I was like, oh boy, let me get on this toilet now. And it was just fast. But yeah, pants saved, so good deal.
Yeah, I too have had a couple issues this week in that department.
Oh, really? Couple times?
Well, both like yesterday.
Oh.
But I tried, last weekend I decided to try the, it's like a keto diet or carnivore diet. And so they have this thing called like the Keto Flu, which is kind of like, I don't know, carb withdrawal or something. But Sunday night, I'm laying in bed and I just feel like shitty. I got a headache. I feel a little nauseous. And I get up to go to work and I'm like, well, I'll just go to work. I'll walk it off. I feel shitty, but, it's not the end of the world. And so I'm going to work and... like, I'm going, I got a headache, I feel shitty, and I start getting nauseous, and I'm getting, like, more and more nauseous, and I'm on the fucking highway. I'm like, I'm not gonna fucking puke on this fucking highway, And so I'm holding, and I'm probably, like, a quarter mile to my fucking exit. I'm like, fuck, I can't hold it anymore. And so I roll down the window as fast as I can. I'm doing, like, 50 on the highway, and I'm, like, trying to projectile vomit out the window, and fucking swerving all over the place. I got vomit all over myself. Oh, it was disgusting.
Oh man, that's tough.
Yeah,
especially going 50.
Yeah, it was spraying. Some of it was getting outside. Some of it was just like turbulent flow back into the car. Oh, it was fucking sick.
Did you still go into work?
No, I pulled over like after I got off the exit, and I was like, because I had puke all over my shirt. Yeah. I was like, I just called him, and at that point I was basically at work, and I called him. I was like, hey, I puked on myself. Like, yeah, go home.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Hey, real talk, guys. How much money, cash money, would you pay to never have to puke again? Because I hate puking. Like, it's not that I do it a lot, but I hate it so much that I think I would pay probably thousands of dollars if it meant I would never puke again.
No, I wouldn't pay anything because, like, puking gets all the bad stuff out of your body, right?
Well, yeah, as long as there wasn't going to be some ironic curse attached where I was going to die of being poisoned,
Like the bacteria just festered in your gut. Yeah. That was the end of your life.
Yeah.
I guess I should have puked.
And also, like, how many times have you guys actually had, like, poop in your pants, like, in your life?
Not really, man. Like, a racing stripe maybe, but not like a turd or diarrhea or anything.
I'll say there's been 2 times where I got some poop actually in the drawers. And I don't even really feel that bad about it because I was like, both times I was like so sick, like my inside just like liquefied. So it was basically like, watery, almost like diarrhea came out. And it's just like, Yeah, I was just like super sick both times, so it wasn't like I sharted or anything like that.
I was teasing Jai the other day about like, because he was farting. I was like, don't fart too hard. You poop your pants. He's like, yeah, the other day I was at home farting and there was poop in the underwear. I was like,
no. I think it's that restaurant we went to. That's what got us like sick and stuff. Maybe.
Well, the food tasted pretty good, but like after we ate there, this is just yesterday. We went to the beach, and so we ate some like a seafood place, and like afterwards, I just got really sick. But it's like I broke that same diet I was doing all week, so I was like, maybe that got me. But yeah, I got nauseous and I puked again. So I had like a 2 for this week on the puking, and then like we're driving back, and my guts are roiling. We pull a gas station. I destroy that. I come home, come in here, and then like I have like a pure brown water, dump.
Oh, man,
and I have another go this morning. It's like it's just a bad week for me, really.
Oh man.
Well, now that we've given everybody the appetizer, let's get on to the main course. As tradition dictates, AJ, we'll start with you.
All right, so we talked about poop. Let's talk about pee. Pastor accused of peeing on sleeping woman on airplane. Yep, a well-known pastor from North Carolina is accused of peeing on a sleeping woman in the back seat of a plane as she returned to Detroit from Las Vegas. Alicia Beverly had spent a great time in Sin City and could not wait to get home Monday night. They were on the red-eye flight, and pretty much everyone was asleep, including her. Alicia said she was curled up in the back seat next to her sister when abruptly being awoken to the feeling of being urinated on. It felt warm, like on the side of me I felt something warm, she told Fox 2 Detroit. In her sleepy haze, right at eye level, she saw something very unexpected. I jump up and I jump up and I see this private area out, and I screamed and I woke everybody up. I screamed and that woke everybody up. Alicia said that by the time I actually looked at him and I see him shake himself off, and I'm like, this man just peed on me. I looked and there was a puddle of pee in the seats. She screamed and got the attention of everyone on the plane, including an off-duty officer who rushed over and restrained the man, a well-known pastor from North Carolina. According to sources, the pastor had an apparent reaction to a sleep aid. He didn't say anything the whole time he was standing there, Alicia said. Alicia said after being treated like a bathroom, she sat in those wet clothes for several hours before landing at Detroit Metro in Romulus, Michigan. The pastor was taken into custody but hasn't been charged yet. Representatives for the pastor allegedly weren't commenting on the incident. The FBI handles incidents in the air and it will make a decision on charges. Naturally, Alicia is filled with anxiety, saying she slept only 4 hours since the incident. Additionally, she's grateful the officer on the plane took charge and that something is being done about the pastor's actions.
I gotta say, this sounds like a little bit of irresponsible journalism, because I didn't hear like one reference to holy water or baptism.
Yeah, that's true.
There should have been some pun in there or something.
I expected that. I mean, it sounds like he was on some medication, but
yeah, I mean, like even if you're a pervert, like you don't usually do stuff that you're definitely going to get arrested, right?
Yeah.
It's like, but can you imagine like if it was like completely honest and you're just like, I took some meds and then like I was sleep peed on somebody, and can you imagine everybody's outraged and you just kind of like wake up to that? Yeah. And you're just standing there with your dick out.
He was shaking it too.
What kind of medication was this?
Yeah, what kind of medication? That makes you get up and pee on people.
And now she's like afraid to sleep.
Yeah, like, she's worried somebody will pee on her.
Somebody's going to show up. Worst horror movie ever.
Oh man, that sucks.
The sleep peer.
I gotta say, like, if I woke up to a priest or anyone like piss on me, I think I would beat the shit out of them before I even knew what was going on.
Yeah, that's I don't know how you deal with that. I've heard of like homeless people with those stories where like someone pissed on them or something.
A homeless person? Peeing on a homeless person?
Well, yeah, it's like somebody does it just to be an asshole.
Golly.
Yeah, you gotta be a real piece of shit.
Yeah, you gotta be. Man, I this week actually I woke up a homeless guy because I had to run him off, and I was like, hey, security, you can't sleep here or whatever. And so he's in a sleeping bag, and he opens up his sleeping bag, gets out, and he's got this fucking giant antler sharpened to a point like he's sleeping with. I was like, man, I'm glad I didn't like piss on that guy. You know, it's like this is my antler for stabbing people who try to piss on me.
Yeah, I guess you gotta be ready for anything. Wow.
But
That guy couldn't find a knife anywhere.
I guess antler, man. Just antler's
Where do
the
you
way
find
to
an
go.
antler? That's the.
Yeah, I don't know. It's been out in the bush.
I feel like a knife would be easier to find than an antler.
Yeah. It's not as scary, though.
Yeah.
If someone has an antler, they're like, what the fuck is going on?
Man, there's been some weird priest stories. Like, for those listening, we kind of lost an episode due to some audio issues. But, like, recently there was another story we talked about where, like, a priest got caught having sex in his church with, like, 2 dominatrixes.
Oh, yeah, we lost that one.
Yeah. So, yeah, there's, like, some kinky preachers out there, man.
Yeah, that one's straight up just like... I mean, if you're, like, taking money off of people, like, I mean...
You might as well use it on hookers.
You might as well put it to good use, I guess.
Maybe ask them for a donation afterwards.
All right, well, moving on to you. You got anything in your manuscript there this week?
Wasn't that mine? Oh, so they're actually like having some success with like reverse aging in mice, I guess.
Ooh.
But well, I'm not an expert in this, but I guess like the leading, like the ideas behind aging is basically on a cellular level, like, you know, your DNA gets broken and stuff periodically, and so you start getting malfunctioning cells, and this kind of accumulates, and the more and more you have, the worse you function, the older you get. But there's also we have some mechanisms for repairing our DNA and stuff. So in mice, they kind of seem like they've isolated certain chemicals or compounds or something that are related to this fixing DNA and regeneration. And they've actually like pulled back some of those to create healthy cells that were damaged before. So I don't know. That sounds interesting. They're doing some research in that. So
I mean, yeah, that's the one they got to get before we die, right?
right. Cross fingers. I just need to live long enough until they figure this shit out.
No, that is actually really cool. But can you imagine, like, let's say you're like, you know, an old ass 70, 80 years old, and all of a sudden you get the chance to rewind the clock and you're 20 again. Like, that imagine how weird that would feel.
Syphilis, here I come.
You know, I've always had this idea for like a sci-fi story, like in a world where like people could de-age and like just like the different relationships and things that could bring about. Like you could be dating someone that's 100 years, you know, hundreds of years older or younger than you, and like just kind of the weirdness a world like that could bring. You know?
Yeah, I'd be very interested in that. Like, I'd love to date somebody who was hundreds of years older than me, but still looked like my age.
Interesting.
Yeah, they have a lot of knowledge, you know. It'd be
All that experience.
yeah.
Oh yeah, the experience level.
Yeah. And like I'd ask them a bunch of questions all the time. They'd probably hate me. I'd be like, "What was that like?" You know. Yeah.
You can ask old people what the Civil War was like. They usually don't like it though.
Hey, did you know recently the 10th president of the United States, his grandson recently died?
Yeah, I read it. Well, I didn't hear that, but I knew that like there were like multiple generations where they had like a kid when they were like 70 or something. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
He was alive like
insane.
before the Civil War, and like his grandson just recently, and he has a second grandson who's still alive, I think. I'm not sure.
It might be. I'm not sure. Yeah.
What president was that? Like Van Buren or something?
I don't
Tyler?
know.
Oh,
It's Tyler.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I did read that. Like, it was like one of those what the fuck facts where it's like, oh, did you know such and such has a grandchild that's still alive? You're like, what? How is that?
Yeah.
Like,
10th president of the United States.
but yeah, having kids when they're old as shit, man.
Good for them.
okay. I got a couple related hypotheticals for you. So the first one. So in this situation, you guys have to basically splice your DNA with an animal. So you're going to become a human-animal hybrid. What animal do you choose? I mean, because the first thing I think of, just because they're, in mythology and stuff, is what is it, the centaur, where you're mixed with a horse?
Right.
Because then,
the big Peter will...
You got the big Peter. You got
even out the small Peter. Do they have two Peters? Do they have a front Peter and a back Peter?
I don't think so. I think they just got the one horse cock. And then their upper body is human.
Yeah.
So that's the one I instantly think of. But do you guys think... but then, like, you're going to be this huge, like, half-horse creature. Like, you're going to have, like, a custom house built, or you're just going to have to live outside, right?
Yeah, live in a stable, man.
But that's going to be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You just sleep there standing up. You're a horse.
Isn't that weird how horses sleep like that, just standing up?
Yeah, I think a fair number of animals can do it. It's just like, I mean, from, like, a safety point of view, it's probably handy. You just take off running.
Yeah.
I mean, you want to live somewhere with electricity, because, like, you still... Now, with centaurs, I forget, do they... Yeah, they still have, like, human arms, right? Because they can, like, shoot a bow and arrow or whatever. So, like, you want to be able to, like, watch TV and play video games and stuff. So you
you don't want to just be like a human body on a dog.
But maybe you just have a custom house built with bigger corridors and stuff, and you have this big old bed that you plop down in. And so
you want a centaur bed?
Yeah.
You know how much that would cost?
Although, man, you're going to be
your salary.
You're going to be taking big old horse dumps.
Oh yeah, I could get behind that.
But I mean, if you're the only centaur, you can make some money being a centaur. I mean, they're going to want you in movies and
certain movies
and porn. Yeah. Yeah. So no, I also thought it would be fun. Although, like if you mix with some sort of bird, right? Like, you'd have to have big wings to get lift, but it would be fun to drop big old human turds on people's cars.
They would know it's you automatically.
That bird, man, that cocksucking son of a bitch.
God damn you, bird man.
Can you imagine you go to your car and there's just this big fucking log sitting on
Human turd.
Birds always have diarrhea. They never have, like, pellets or anything.
Sometimes they have those little flat, not flat, but tube type poops.
Really? I don't remember seeing tubes.
I think when they come down, they like splat really hard.
So it was solid. The impact is
I think so. I'm not sure.
I don't know.
Would you guys ever consider, like, being like some sort of cross with an ocean creature, so you could, like, breathe into water and, like, look down there?
Octopuses are pretty cool.
Oh yeah, you can get freaky with those 8 legs. But then you got to be in the water though.
Freaktopus. Well, yeah, anything in water.
Yeah.
You could always camouflage and stuff like that as an octopus.
Yeah,
yeah. Some of them do.
They have really great. They have great camouflage.
Actually, I saw a video on Facebook or something the other day that was showing an octopus camouflage, and it said it was like sleeping or something, and it like kept changing colors. It was pretty cool. Okay, and then my second part to that question is, as a human, what female human animal hybrids would you still be willing to get with? like would you have sex with a literal Catwoman, and like you could play with her 6 nipples while she gives you the world's most painful blowjob with her sandpapery tongue?
I mean, like, if you're fucking a sheep person, like, it's a pretty short road to fucking a sheep, right?
Yeah.
In fact, why do I need this back sass?
Close enough.
How desperate and horny do you have to be to get with an animal? I mean, people have been doing that, though. They're still doing it
Definitely
today.
has to happen, yeah.
But, like, let's say you go to a bar and like there's this woman that comes up, but she's like, I don't know.
I've been there.
She's like mixed with a bear or something. Like, what combination? Are there any combinations you would still go for, or would you just be like, nah?
I can't think of anything that I would go for.
Well, if they're like humanoid,
Yeah, I mean,
like
they're
furry.
Still, yeah, like they're still have humanish features, but they're just also mixed with maybe they got fur, or they're mixed somehow with with the animal.
I don't know. Maybe.
Now let me ask you this: like, let's say you were a centaur. Do you think you would automatically be like in your brain more attracted to like straight on female horses?
I knew you were gonna say that.
You have kids or 1/4 centaur.
All right, I think we've gotten enough out of this topic. I'll
Man, I
move
got a
back.
headache.
I'll move it back over to you.
All right, let's see what I want to talk about here. Oh, this is always interesting to me. Ancient mummies unearthed in Egypt after more than 2,600 years. Saqqara, Egypt, more than 2,600 years since they were buried. Archaeologists in Egypt said Saturday they found at least 59 ancient coffins in a vast necropolis south of the city's capital, Cairo, one containing the pristine mummy of an ancient priest. The ornate sarcophagi have remained unopened since they were entombed near the famed step pyramid of Djoser in Saqqara, according to Egypt's Ministry of Tourism and Antiquities. Footage shared by the ministry showed colorful sarcophagi decorated with ancient Egyptian hieroglyphics, other artifacts, and at least 28 statues were found in the two deep wells, the ministry said. A sealed door was also unearthed, where it's expected more mummies may lie behind, said Khalid El-Anani, the first Minister of Antiquities and Tourism, adding that the artifacts were in excellent state of preservation and would be displayed in the Grand Egyptian Museum next year. I mean, something that's 2,600 years old being discovered, or rediscovered, that's amazing.
Yeah, those have to be crazy finds just to stumble on something like. Well, I'm sure they're not stumbling; they're looking for stuff. But
yeah, I mean, I guess some of it's like pretty hard to find because it has to be because like grave robbers and everybody they got in there first usually.
Yeah, so it's like the ones that didn't get robbed and stolen and broken into.
So I mean, something that's like untouched for 3,000 years almost.
Can you imagine if something like that was found by just like a civilian?
Oh.
Like you'd be like, well, I could like tell the government, or like I could try to sell this thing.
Yeah,
and just like hauling it across the country on a mule or something.
Yeah, that's probably what's happened many times in the past.
Yeah, that in Britain packed a bunch of shit up everywhere in the world.
Their museums, I think John Oliver said it's like a crime scene, their museums.
Right. A great museum, though.
I wouldn't bet against it, yeah.
We've been to that, like, Ripley's Believe It or Not museum, and they, like, have a part in there about, like, where, like, a lot of people back in the day that, like, discovered, like, tombs and like went in pyramids and stuff, like a lot of them died very young, and they were like, are they cursed or whatever? But I think like a large part of it were like they were breathing in like really bad particles
a lot of bad
in the pyramids, and so they figure like a lot of those people, that's probably what killed them.
Yeah.
Like ancient bacteria or something.
Well, I just think like the decomposing bodies and stuff inside those pyramids. And just, I don't know if there's like maybe mold and shit in there too. But yeah, they figure like, a lot of people thought, oh, they must have got some sort of curse. But in reality, a lot of them probably died, because of.
Yeah, some of that shit will fuck you up bad.
Yeah, even after thousands of years, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Where did they find that? Was that in Egypt? Where was
in Egypt.
Cool.
Like just south of Cairo. Which is amazing. I mean, a huge metropolis like that, and they still found mummies around there.
Yeah, there's still stuff buried out there.
Yeah.
Why can't we be mummified?
It's expensive.
Probably could be.
Are there laws against it?
I don't think so. Like, I was kind of researching that once. I think, like... Well, you might hit some red tape, but I think you can do other things with a person's body.
We might have to look into that.
Can't believe people used to eat mummies and grind them up into powder and snort them and stuff.
I don't think I'd ever heard of that.
Yeah, they did that. Like Europeans did that. They bought, these mummies and stuff.
Someone told them it was gonna like give them an erection.
Yeah,
there you go.
Some sort of cure for something. I think
a little mummy powder.
I mean, people still think that today about like rhino horn and things.
I mean, it's first the person who makes up the lie.
The thing is, you don't even need to kill a rhino. Basically, anything you put in a jar, if you tell someone it's going to give them an erection, you can sell that to them.
That's true. It's so easy to lie.
And if it's something that actually will give them an erection, they'll keep paying for it.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. I wonder why people are still buying rhino horn. I mean, the first person should have been like, "This doesn't work."
Yeah, as soon as Viagra was on the market, people should have been like, "Fuck this rhino horn.
A little bit out of that market.
I'll buy this, and it's a lot cheaper and it works better."
Yeah, in China, they're still buying that stuff. It's like they must have pharmaceuticals there that can provide relief or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe the Chinese government is keeping Viagra from the people.
It's because they had too many kids and stuff. I can see that.
I don't know.
I doubt it though. They went from 1-child policy to like 2 now.
They should have stayed at 1. They're overpopulated.
Yeah, they are.
I don't know. I worry about overpopulation more than probably any other like thing that's gonna.
It's a tough one. It's a tough one because it is a huge problem. But on the other hand, there's some very ethical concerns, about like the 1-child rule and things like that.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh yeah, I believe we're on you.
I don't have a ton of stuff, but I guess like you guys saw the picture of was it Hunter Biden? Like he's sleeping with like a pipe in his mouth.
No, I didn't see that.
I didn't actually see it, but I heard about this.
There was like an article that said, "Oh, Hunter Biden found with a crack pipe," and I was like, "I better fact check this." I'm trying to fact check, and it says, "This isn't a crack pipe. This is a meth pipe," and then it's like factual. Partial or something. I was like, what the fuck?
Well, apparently he did have some sort of drug problem because they brought that up in the debate between, because Trump said something about it and Biden came back and was like, yeah, he had a drug problem and he got over it and I'm proud of him for it or something like that.
Meanwhile, his crime bill put how many people in fucking prison for the same shit?
Yeah.
That's so petty to go after somebody's kid for having a drug problem.
Yeah, everybody's got something, but...
Yeah. I mean, Trump acts like his kids never did anything.
They think they did cocaine before his first, or during those speeches they all had.
Yeah, right?
What was weird, though, like the video I saw that was about the Hunter Biden thing is it talked about so apparently there was a story that came out that basically, I think it kind of gave more evidence to the fact that, the Russian government or Ukraine probably were giving Hunter Biden money just, because he's Joe Biden's son.
Right.
And there's some corruption going on. And the weird thing about it was Twitter was blocking tweets that were trying to tweet that story. And it's like, no matter what side you come down on, that seems like a weird thing for Twitter to do. Yeah,
there's definitely some weird ethical issues with social media and the way you see them controlling media the way other media outlets do, I guess. But you kind of feel like it should be like a free speech platform. Plus, it's like, oh, we're gonna stop you from saying that, but then like 5 minutes later, you can be like, oh, look, I'm gonna like lube up this egg and shove it up my anus, and you're like, oh, okay, that's fine. You can be as crazy as you fucking want any other time, except for like the little political issues.
Well, and I don't know how hard it is to do it, but I know on Facebook sometimes, like all my Republican relatives, they'll repost propaganda from that side, but sometimes it will have like a fact check below it that says, yeah, this is horseshit, and like I don't know how it's probably hard for those companies to keep up and do that with everything, but to me, that would be a better idea if they suspect that story of having false elements. Would be like let people post it, but then have a thing attached to it that says, "Hey, this may only have a partial truth in it, or it's horseshit, or whatever." I don't know, but it seems weird for Twitter to completely block that story. It seems like they might have a partisan type of slant.
Well, wasn't there something else too? That, with Twitter and specifically, somebody who's like tied in with Kamala Harris, they're like on the staff or something at Twitter.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I don't know. It's something I just basically glanced at.
It wouldn't surprise me, but I hadn't heard that.
I think Facebook also blocked some stuff recently. I'm not sure what it was. It might have been QAnon stuff. I'm not sure.
Oh, yeah, it could be.
Yeah, I mean, that stuff has got some legs on it, by the way. QAnon, it's like traveled to UK too. Like they have their own.
I haven't even looked at it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
I don't
something
look
I could
at it,
mention about, but
Yeah, I just hear a little bit about it here and there.
yeah,
But I mean, is there a left version of QAnon?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know. Like conspiracy. I'm sure there are.
I'm pretty much like Trump was like, "Oh, I'm against child stuff." That's all I know.
You said that?
Well, yeah, like his town hall meeting because the lady was kept pressing him with it, and that's basically what he was saying.
Yeah, I think he knows way more about QAnon than he lets on. Cause like,
I'm sure.
He mentions like whatever positive, like they're against pedophilia. Like,
Right, yeah.
I don't think they're really against pedophilia. I think they're just outraged by anything. Like they want something to be pissed off about, you know?
Right.
Because if they were really mad about pedophilia, they'd be mad at Trump too, because he was friends with
Epstein,
and he had pictures with him and stuff. And there was that case of that 13-year-old girl that got settled.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, him and somebody else. They settled that case like a little while before the last election.
Yeah, usually if someone's got like a like, you know, those settlements, it's like, this is questionable.
Yeah. So I mean, like it's false outrage.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
That's another thing I've noticed on Facebook a lot recently. Like my relatives will post these things that make it sound like the liberal point of view on pedophilia is that they consider it like a sexual orientation or something. I'm like, yeah. They make it seem like the Republicans are like the anti-pedophilia party, and it's like, I think we're pretty much all against that.
It's just the pedophiles pushing that particular line of view.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, this isn't like a Republican Democrat thing. I'm pretty sure we're all in agreement on this that pedophilia is a bad thing. So,
but that's the whole thing. Like they just create the storyline to feign outrage and stuff. You know,
It's always trying to push those issues like, we believe this, you believe that.
Yeah, it's so fake. Like,
But,
how come the Republican parties, I think you talked about this before, how come they're seen as more patriotic? Like, how are they, you know? Like, if anything, well, not if anything, but, I mean, they're 50% of the population, and they're as divisive as the left is, you know? So, I mean, like, when it comes to, like, this country not being united, it's both sides doing that, you know? I don't know. I'm liberal, so I'm on the left. So I always like I'm harder on the right. You know, I always see them as the people who are like most tearing this country apart. But that's just my perspective.
yeah, I voted today.
Oh, yeah.
No judgment. Are you voting this year?
I might. I don't know. I guess I will. I mean, like it's good to vote, but we're in a state where the Democrats gonna win. So
Yeah.
I get that, but the thing I was telling him too, like, is some ballot measures on there too? Like, one is to, lesser drug penalties and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So like, there is like, worthwhile stuff besides just the candidates. But
yeah, actually, I am gonna vote because I think psilocybin is on the
that is on there
Right.
too.
the ballot.
That was on there, yeah.
Yeah,
I voted in favor of that, even though it's like nothing I'm gonna take. But if it can possibly help people, yeah, why not?
Yeah, I might take it. Like, I want to see a psychiatrist and see if that maybe helps with me.
I'll put some in your sweet tea.
If you can get some, I'm happy to try some.
All right, I got a bad hypothetical for you. Which of these ways to die would you choose? You got to be either buried alive and suffocate or burned to death. Now, to me, like,
I'd take the suffocation.
see, here's where I'm torn is because I'm claustrophobic and like that is like a legit nightmare for me, like being in a enclosed space like that. But I've heard that being burnt to death is the most painful way to go,
Yeah.
like bar none.
Yeah.
But it would be faster than suffocating,
Would it?
I would think.
It could be
know.
fast or slow.
Every second would feel like an eternity. But
Yeah. I don't know, man. But just like how long do you think it would take you to suffocate if you're buried alive?
Like an hour?
I mean, if you have absolutely no air,
Well, however much is in that
like
coffin.
you get a few minutes. Oh, if you're in a coffin, yeah, just breathing coffin air, you might have a little while.
Man.
I guess I'd rather be suffocated than burned alive.
Yeah, because what if you're just like sitting there like in flames and agony for a while?
How long do you think it would take, though?
I mean, it
I would
depends
think
on the
I would
fire,
think less
right?
than a minute. Like, I'm
Like,
thinking like
if you're like the,
I'm like Joan of Arc burned at the stake.
yeah, because they start the fire like at the bottom, so like
So it's like going to burn.
you're
your
sitting
legs.
there like roasting before the fire even gets to you.
What if it's like you're just doused in gasoline and
Like those
like the
Tibetan
monk,
monks.
yeah.
That's crazy. I don't know how they did that.
Yeah, just sit down and freaking burn. Whoa.
Just quietly too.
Like, yeah, what type of mental focus do you have to be able to do that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have very good focus or meditation skills, but that guy definitely had them.
Yeah, it's something, yeah.
Like, that's a strength that I don't have.
Yeah, I've wondered about that too. Yeah, just freaking pour gas on yourself, light it up, sit down. Ugh. Have you watched
is that
it?
like a form of protest?
Yeah.
Well, apparently a lot of monks have done it.
Yeah.
Like there's some famous ones. Like the first one was probably the most famous or whatever. But have you seen any of those videos where they do that?
I've seen a little bit of one.
Oh, it's disturbing.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are most monks Buddhists or what?
I think so.
I'm not sure about all of them. Like a good chunk is Buddhism. Yeah.
Like, where's the biggest concentration of monks?
I would think Tibet, right? Or they're famous for it.
Yeah, I mean you got Tibet, India. Are they in China?
Yeah.
Yeah. Most of Asia.
Are there any non-Asian?
But you get them like in the Philippines and stuff too, right?
Oh, I don't know about that.
Are there any non-Asian monks?
I'm sure there are.
Well, there are monks in like Europe, so yeah, it's got to be.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
It's not the same type, maybe. But.
Different monks, yeah.
All right, that was my topical. Send it back over to you.
I think that's interesting, though. Monks, like, people act like monks in different parts of the world, you know?
Yeah.
It's interesting. Pastor accused of peeing. Let's see.
Check.
All right. I thought this was a feel-good story. I liked it. A rat called Magawa awarded prestigious gold medal for Cambodia landmine detection. They get a bad rep, especially for being dirty, but one rat redeemed his species on Friday, becoming the first rodent to receive a gold medal for his work in sniffing out unexploded landmines and saving countless lives in Cambodia. Magawa, a so-called hero rat, was presented with a blue collar and mini gold medal by the British veterinary charity, the People's Dispensary for Sick Animals, on Friday. Magawa's work directly saves lives and changes the lives of men, women, and children who are impacted by these landmines. Every discovery he makes reduces the risk of injury or death for local people, PDSA Director General Jan McLaughlin said in a statement. We are thrilled to award him the PDSA Gold Medal. So I don't know, like, what kind of training goes into this, like how you get a rat to detect landmines, but I mean, that's interesting, you know? That's like, wow, you know, you get an animal to save lives like that.
Yeah. Well, I definitely knew they used dogs before, but I think there's a chance like a dog would set off a mine, which is, you know, that's not great if you only get like 20 uses out of him.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a good use for a rat.
Yeah.
I'm kind of surprised they can't use like satellites or some sort of flyover drone now that can penetrate the ground and detect them.
Yeah, if they're made out of metal, I don't know.
Isn't it fucked up though that there's countries like that where there's still a lot of unexploded?
Yeah, there's
landmines?
there's like areas where they're just all over the place. Yeah, it's crazy.
Like makes you not want to go there, but I mean, I'm sure it's a beautiful place, and I'm sure there's lots to see.
Yeah, well, like even in Korea, there's places and they're like, oh, you can't go there, you know.
Oh, really?
Yeah, be like mountain and be off limits or something.
Like the militarized zone around there.
Yeah, they're just like, yeah, there's mines there and stuff. Yeah.
I know they. I've never read it because I actually don't know if they've ever reprinted it, but they made a Batman comic once for like kids that live in areas like that. And I think basically the story is pretty dark too. Where like I think Batman like he saves this kid, but then the kid runs off and he explodes a landmine.
Damn.
And yeah, it's basically just a comic designed to warn kids of the dangers of landmines. I'd be curious to read it, but yeah, I don't think they've ever like reprinted it.
Yeah, it's probably like you'd have to fork out some cash.
Yeah, I'm sure if you could find one of those like original ones, it might be worth
Go
some
to
money.
auction or something.
They should have like machines that can go over these landmines and blow them up without too much harm coming to them.
Yeah, they probably do. It's probably just a cost.
Yeah, maybe those countries, because I would be relatively certain if there was like, let's say Kansas for some reason had a bunch of unexploded landmines, I think we would have taken care of it by now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little different terrain. Like a prairie, I think would be easier to sweep than.
Than like mountainous type of.
Yeah.
That's probably true. But I would think today with technology, they could use satellite imagery or something to detect them all and then, go in there, explode them and get them out of there. But I don't know.
And that's such a sad legacy. Like from like 50 years ago, maybe longer, you've got like this terrain that you can't use that's uninhabited because they put landmines in there for a war that was so long ago.
Yeah, and just, not being sure you can go, where you want without setting one of those things off, and always kind of having to be paranoid of it.
Yeah, it's like a permanent problem. Like they put it down a long time ago and now they just can't get past it.
Yeah, I don't have too much to say. I'm starting to feel a little rough and it's slowing me down. But you guys ready for the next one?
Yeah, go
Wanna
ahead.
shit your pants?
No, I'm just got a little headache and I'm just like I feel like just pressure.
Oh, I got a story for you later then.
So my kids have been doing like the online school and stuff. And I guess like the oldest one, he's always like picking his nose on there and stuff. But like the first day, my youngest, like he was like on there. And, he asked like the teacher where babies come from.
Oh no.
Nice.
Right. So they've been bugging my ex about this all the time, and they're like, "Where are babies coming from?" Blah blah blah. And she's been trying to get me to do it, and I was like, they were here like Saturday, and I was finally like, you know what? Let's just go and do it. And then like they were just so accepting of everything. They just had like a few basic questions, and they're like, "Oh, okay, I'm happy now," and just like went on their business. But I was like, it's just like a weird thing. It's like all parents kind of like dread this. What are you gonna be like supposed to even tell these kids about this?
All right, kids, I got an instructional video.
Right. Like how much are you supposed to tell them? What are you supposed to tell them?
Yeah, what did you tell them?
Well, I told them like, when you're like in your teenagers, like, because like they watch Jurassic Park, so they already know about DNA. So I was like, you start making sperm, and it has like one DNA strand, and your mom has an egg in her, uterus that has one. And so when they come together, then it starts making a baby, and we talked about cells and.
Oh, you told them like the scientific way.
Like the basically what happens just down the line. And they're like, oh, okay, cool.
Okay, you didn't get into the dirty part of it.
Yeah, I kind of like glossed over that part.
But Daddy, how does the
I was
DNA get to the egg?
right. That was the question I was waiting to see if it happens. It's like I'll just go past. If the question comes up, we can tackle it. If not, like we'll just be cool. And they didn't ask. They weren't like, well, how does this get over to here? I was like, well, okay. But they were satisfied. They were happy. So I was like, yeah, that works.
All right.
It'd be funny if you like told them and then you're like, any questions? And they're just like wide-eyed and like in shock.
Yeah, then you're like, oh, I fucked it up. Time to go back to your mom.
Show me. Pornhub.com.
Speaking of like Zoom meetings, I did like my first Zoom meeting this week because I got.
That's right. Yeah.
I started a new job and it's remote, so I do it from home, which is awesome. Actually, I really like working from home. It's convenient, but the one thing I really noticed, and me and you have talked about this a little bit, is like the job I'm doing will, I think 100% within like 5 to 10 years, it'll be done by a computer program. Like 100%. And it got me thinking, I don't think I've ever done a job that won't one day be done by a robot or some sort of technology and done better. And I was just wondering, do you guys feel like you've ever done a job where that isn't the case? That it won't be done by a robot and more efficiently? Do you think you've ever done a job that wouldn't fit that parameter?
Yeah, I did software consulting, and there, like, you have to be kind of a salesman. So you find out what the customer's needs are, and then address them, and then provide business value. So it's kind of strategic. So I mean, maybe someday they could come up with a software that you type in like what you're using now and what your concerns are, and maybe you could address that. But I mean, it takes some brain power, I think. So it might be a little while till we get there.
Yeah, I mean, I've done some different things, but like I Ubered for a while, and I know that is definitely going to be replaced, probably in the near future.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't wait until automated vehicles.
Yeah.
I mean, working in the oil field, there's so many different parts and so many different jobs. It's hard to imagine all of that working without people.
You don't think it?
God, it would be hard.
It would be pretty tough.
Like that'd be like late stages. I'm not saying it couldn't ever happen, but there's so many parts and pieces and so many things that go into it and go together.
Of course, that job could just be phased out because we maybe would have no demand for it at one point or another.
Elon Musk is trying to like get rid of oil and gas completely.
Yeah, he's trying. I don't know. He also gets a lot of money from the government, so I wonder about that sometimes. Like if that got shut off, would his companies take a shit?
I mean, with oil and gas, like their stocks have gone down like a lot lately, haven't they?
Probably. They fluctuate pretty heavily with the market, whatever the market's doing. So yeah, I think oil and gas might be down. I haven't checked in a while. OPEC was dumping like a ton of oil onto the market, which brings prices down. And that's generally when the market goes down.
I guess the thing I'm getting at though is this thing though is like it's one of the reasons I'm glad we're doing the podcast and like why I kind of like to do creative endeavors because like not to say like one day there won't be a podcast done by robots, but like they could never recreate this, we're bringing our experiences to the table and we're making something unique that couldn't be copied. And I think that's the thing that really, I just think like so many people's in history's lives, like their legacy is just doing menial tasks every day. And it's like not like I'm not appreciative of, everybody playing their part so the world keeps spinning. But it's just kind of sad to me that like so many people's lives are defined by doing, things they don't really want to do, just menial tasks over and over and over again. It's kind of depressing. And like the people we really remember are the people that, provided us, some sort of art, whether it's, music, TV, film, whatever it may be. Like those are the things that really affect our lives and the things we remember. So I don't know. It got me thinking that, it makes me appreciative that we're doing something like this.
Yeah, I don't think a computer could talk about how it shit its pants.
Yeah, exactly. You're never going to get that kind of stuff from a computer.
Yeah, it depends. I don't know. Anytime making something either physically or something like content is always more satisfying than probably most other things, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, speaking from your mind and like sharing your experiences and bonding with people that way. Yeah.
All right, AJ, we'll move on to you.
All right. Oh, so this is I'm going to talk about Lester's thing. This is a long story though, so I'll try to make it shorter. Woman's headache caused by tapeworm larvae in brain.
Yeah.
Yep. Just in time for Halloween, a new case report detailed the harrowing reason for an Australian woman's persistent headache: tapeworm larvae. Physicians in the American Journal of Tropical Medicine and Hygiene detailed the woman's case, believed it to be the first autochthonous, I'm butchering that word, autochthonous case or local acquired case of neurocysticercosis. Cysticercosis. Oh my god, these are long words, guys. A parasitic disease that occurs after one accidentally ingests Taenia solium, pork tapeworm eggs. Humans become infected after consuming undercooked food, particularly pork or water contaminated with tapeworm eggs, or through poor hygiene practices, per the World Health Organization. The woman who was not identified in the case report has never traveled overseas at the time she was diagnosed, and the Australian cases reported have either been in immigrants or returning residents who have traveled to endemic regions. Autochthonous cases have been recorded in other non-endemic regions of the world, including a frequently referenced report in Orthodox Jewish community in New York City, and also in Middle Eastern countries where pork consumption is forbidden for religious reasons. The woman suffered headaches 2 to 3 times a month from the time she was 18, and the headaches were often accompanied by visual aura, per the case report. Painkillers would usually provide her relief, but her headache described in the case reported was persistent, leading her to seek medical attention. Her visual symptoms also worsened. A subsequent MRI scan revealed what doctors at first thought was either brain abscess or a tumor. But when the woman went in for an operation to remove the brain lesion, they discovered the shocking cause behind her pain, a cyst full of tapeworm larvae. Thankfully, after the cyst was removed, the woman who worked as a barista and was considered low risk for this type of infection did not require further treatment. Sometimes a clear epidemiological link can be established based on evidence of close contact with people originating from geographic areas of high endemicity, who may be employed in the households of those who would otherwise not be at risk, the case report authors wrote. However, such a link could not be made in the present case. They noted the patient's family had neither accommodated guests or domestic workers from endemic regions, nor did the patient report previous or current close contact with people from areas of known endemicity. The patient worked as a barista, had contact with people from various geographical regions, but that wasn't any different from anybody else in the Australian hospitality industry. Let's see. So yeah, it just goes in about like how they don't know how she would have been caught. But, here's one. Although a clear source of infection was not established here, it's proposed that the patient had inadvertently ingested eggs of T. solium released from a tapeworm carrier who had cases with solitary brain lesions. If left untreated, the larvae can travel through the body and invade other tissues, leading to a condition called cysticercosis. When larvae build up in the central nervous system, muscles, skin, and eyes, it leads to neurocysticercosis, the most severe form of the disease and a common cause for seizures worldwide. So, I mean, yeah, this woman had headaches since she was 18. I don't know how old she is now, but finally went into the doctor and they found something seriously wrong with her. She had larvae in her brain.
Yeah, it's weird that you mostly get it from pork, and they're like, and then they're talking about like they're finding a lot in Jewish people and stuff,
and Middle Eastern people. Yeah, that is weird. Why would they have it? Maybe it's like something that other people who eat pork are like
they said something about maybe catching it from other people.
Yeah. But maybe like people who eat pork are used to it or something. They don't have that problem, maybe.
Well, if you're supposed to always cook pork really well because of those dangers.
Yeah, I don't know. That's crazy. Well, you have a headache, so I'm just saying.
Yeah, I feel like shit.
Oh man.
Do you guys get headaches a lot?
I don't.
I don't either.
I do periodically. A lot of times it's because like I drink coffee all week or something, and then I don't drink it, and I'm like, oh, I've got a caffeine headache. So I get those. And then I've had, like this week, I've had a couple of those dietary ones.
Yeah, I basically never get headaches, but there was one time about 10 years ago, I was in my parents' house, and like over the stove, there's this like, metal
vent hood.
Yeah, metal hood over it. And apparently the house is designed for short people because like I got under that thing and hit it, and I mean the corner of it just like shunted like right into my fucking head, like really fucking hard. And I'm not kidding. I had a headache for a solid month after that. Like I maybe had some sort of concussion. I don't know, but I was just taking Excedrin every day, and yeah, it fucked me up pretty bad.
Yeah, you definitely messed up your brain on that one.
I think so. I hit it really fucking hard.
I had a thing like that too one time. I was playing basketball, and God, don't play with little kids.
Right.
Like, these kids were in high school, and one of them, like, he was acting like he was getting paid millions to play this game.
Right.
He dove after the ball and hit me in the side of the temple, and I was messed up after that. I mean, I don't know if it was a month, but it was a long time before I felt okay again. I was messed up.
Man, I remember hitting my head pretty hard a couple times when I was a little kid too, because like, like my parents like didn't have money for like a really good couch, so like for the longest
I was
time,
gonna say a doctor.
yeah, that too. But for the longest time, they used this couch that my dad made out of hardwood, and like it had like very like thin cushions, and then yeah, like hardwood, and like I hit my head on that a couple different times, and like I swear I like concussed myself.
You just jumped on it, like plopped right down or something?
Yeah, just like, you know, kids like playing, horsing around, and I would hit my head into it. And
In Soviet Russia, couch beats you.
I wish that, I wonder if we have a picture of this couch somewhere. Like, it was the most uncomfortable fucking couch in the world, man. And we had it for a very long time.
Yeah, hardwood seems like it'd be hard to lay on and sit down on.
Let's see, I believe it is your turn.
I don't really have anything else. Just sitting around feeling crummy.
All right. This story here, I'm not sure I even completely understand it. I just came across it today, but I think the gist of it is the Canadian military might have too much time on their hands.
Probably.
Military incompetence unleashed a wolf psyop on unsuspecting Canadians. The tactical psyop training, which included loudspeakers in the woods and a forged letter warning of invading wolves, somehow leaked to the public. The Canadian military is taking heat after news broke that a mock letter penned by information warfare specialists in a reserve unit made its way into the hands of civilians, warning the public about a fictitious pack of gray wolves on the loose in the province of Nova Scotia. The incident also involved playing sounds of wolves howling in the woods through a loudspeaker. In an interview with Motherboard, a Canadian Armed Forces member familiar with the situation, who wasn't authorized to speak to the media, says the letter and the speaker were all part of a training simulation strictly for an official military exercise the 36th Canadian Brigade Group put on for its soldiers. Tactical PSYOP soldiers were practicing setting up and using a loudspeaker with a larger group of soldiers, they said. The letter, forged to seem like it came from a government ministry, was then given to a group of soldiers on the same exercise to make the simulated training seem more authentic, according to the source. On the 3rd of August 2020, the Department of Lands and Forestry of Nova Scotia, in conjunction with the Canadian Wildlife Service, Environmental and Climate Change Canada, undertook the significant act to reintroduce the gray wolf to the forests of Nova Scotia. The letter begins, "Unfortunately, the pack has migrated to the Annapolis Valley floor in search of easy prey and livestock. If a gray wolf is encountered, do not provoke, engage, or feed the animal. Back away slowly while remaining calm. Do not turn and run." It goes on, but yeah, I'm just like, what the fuck was the point of this exercise? It's so weird.
You got to spend that all the money that quarter, or you won't get the budget again the next quarter.
Yeah, like this is what happens when you don't have wars all over the world. You end up doing things like this. But yeah, I read that and I was like, what the fuck is the Canadian military doing? It you know what? It almost seems like a like strategy of like a Scooby-Doo villain. Like
Right.
we're gonna play wolf music. It's like they're trying to scare you off so they can find some, you know, buried treasure
It
or
was
something.
Justin Trudeau all along.
and the gang's gonna come upon like the thing where they forged the letter. So yeah, I read that and I was like, What the fuck is this?
I think Canada's military is doing the right thing. They are ahead of the curve, and they are going to be able to solve problems that our military is not prepared for.
Yeah, they won't get scared when they hear wolves.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's crazy.
All right, we'll kick it back to you.
All right, so this is actually like backpacking off of a story that you told us a while ago.
Okay.
Mysterious sightings of person flying in jetpack near LAX continue. Something strange is going on around Los Angeles International Airport in recent weeks. On Wednesday, a flight crew for China Airlines reported seeing a person flying around LAX wearing what appeared to be a jetpack. It was the second sighting in the past 2 months, and so far, authorities seem to be stumped for answers. A spokesperson for the FAA said in an email, a China Airlines crew reported seeing what appeared to be someone in a jetpack at an approximate altitude of 6,000 feet, about 7 miles northwest of Los Angeles International Airport, around 1:45 p.m. The spokesperson said that local law enforcement was contacted and investigating. That would be strange on its own, but virtually the same scenario played out on August 30th when the crews of multiple airlines informed the control tower that they'd seen someone flying with a jetpack at around 3,000 feet. In that case, an American Airlines crew said the person was just 300 yards from the wing of the aircraft. 2 other flights in the area confirmed the sighting as well. The spokesperson for the FBI told the New York Times that agents are investigating multiple reports of what, according to witnesses, appears to be an individual in a jetpack near LAX. The agency has reportedly been investigating the August incident. If all the details prove to be true, it's easy to assume that this could be an amateur foolhardily testing out their homemade jetpack, but it would be quite impressive if that's the case. In February, a pilot in Dubai wore a jet suit and set what was believed to be an altitude record close to 6,000 feet. That pilot was only in the air for 3 minutes, conducted 50 test flights as preparation, and used a parachute for landing. It's unclear how long the alleged jetpack adventure in the LA area remained in the air, but a parachute surely would have made it easier to spot where they landed. So yeah, this jetpack guy he strikes again.
This is fucking interesting, man. Yeah, there's got to be something going on if they're having, even more reports of it.
Yeah. And he's always around the airport.
Yeah, which makes you think they would be able to crack down on this guy easier.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would kind of think that because we fly fighter jets out of our airport all the time on test missions. You think somebody would dispatch something to go find him?
I mean, this guy's brave. Whatever he's using, like if it's homemade or whatever, to go first 3,000 feet in the air. I mean, once you go 3,000 feet, you can go 6,000 feet. It's no difference. You're going to die either way. But it's nuts. I wouldn't do that ever.
Do you think there's any way it's remote piloted like at the beginning of the Rocketeer, like where they stuff like a dummy or a statue or whatever into the...
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that is probably possible. That it could be like a model flown by a drone or something. Something weird like that.
I mean, if this guy is really strapping himself into this thing and like going up himself, yeah, this is a brave motherfucker. And he apparently knows what he's doing if he's doing it multiple times and landing.
Flying close to aircraft and stuff.
That's the part that gets me is like, yeah, this guy is like wanting to get caught almost. But the fact that he hasn't been is really interesting.
Yeah, so far to be that close to LAX and not get caught, that is surprising. That's a major international airport, and that place is full of people.
Maybe, you know how like Grant Morrison, he has this theory that like every fictional universe we make is actually real in some alternate dimension. So maybe the Rocketeer, really is real in another dimension, and now there's some sort of spot near LA where he's coming through.
Yeah.
That's what I like to think.
Did he fight crime, the Rocketeer?
He fought some Nazis.
Okay.
Well, in the movie, yeah, he fights Nazis. And actually, the thing about it is, like, there's not an extensive Rocketeer, like, there are Rocketeer comics, but not a ton of them. Like, Dave Stevens, who's the guy that created the Rocketeer, like, there's basically like just two books, and the movie's actually better because the books, even though the artwork's really good, like it's just kind of a series of disjointed things, and the movie actually coalesces better. So the movie's actually better than those books. But yeah, it's not a long running series, even though I really liked The Rocketeer.
Yeah, I was just wondering because maybe something brought him to LA. Nazis, I guess. I don't know.
Well, the Rocketeer story, like he is based out of LA.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. Of course, back in like the 1930s. So you don't got anything left?
No.
Okay, I got another hypothetical. Would you guys rather starve to death or be a cannibal?
Be a cannibal.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be huge on eating just innocent people, but like if I could like pick and choose a couple pieces of shit out of the population, yeah.
But now, okay, let's say you get this, devil's choice or Sophie's choice where you're like, you either got to starve to death or become a cannibal. Now, would you try to convince the public that this choice was laid at your feet so that they would be like, maybe, make a deal with you and like actually let you eat like dead people that were willing to let you eat them, or would you keep it a secret and just try to like, off pieces of shit or something? How would you go about it?
I mean, if they're gonna give me free food, that's easier.
But do you think the public would like buy be like, I know this sounds weird, but I was given this like, really weird cosmic choice. I either have to starve to death or I have to eat people. Like they're just gonna think you're some nut job.
Yeah, you could always just dig up dead bodies like that just died or buried that day or something.
Get a job at a morgue.
Yeah.
It's not helping me feel any better.
When they do like open casket funerals, they just open the top. They don't see the legs are missing.
So like you send guys into the crematorium with like their leg gone.
Yeah. That's weird. Just the occupational hazard.
Take this home with me.
I mean, if they're going to the crematorium, you might as well use as much as you can.
Right, take everything you can.
Fill up your freezer.
Yeah.
Throw a log in there so there's some ashes.
This guy's well marbled.
Yeah, I'd definitely go the cannibal route.
You ever wonder about that? Like, I bet like human meat doesn't taste like demonstrably different from like other sorts of animal meat.
Yeah. Why would it? I don't think
I've heard pork, but I don't know why I heard that.
Who have you been talking to? All right, AJ, we'll kick it back to you.
All right, I got one topic left.
Okay.
And this is about corruption in Brazil. Brazilian senator caught hiding cash between his butt cheeks.
Nice.
Yeah, Brazilian Senator Chico Rodriguez was caught in a police raid when money hidden between his butt cheeks on Wednesday, or with money between his butt cheeks on Wednesday. A judicial source briefed on the matter told Reuters amid an investigation of the misuse of COVID-19 response funding. In the Senate, Rodriguez represents the state of Roraima and has also been chosen as deputy leader for the agenda of the administration of President Jair Bolsonaro, who won the presidency campaigning heavily on ending the corruption of previous governments. Rodriguez confirmed in a statement that his house was raided without giving details. He denied wrongdoing and said he had been clean throughout his 30 years in politics. His office did not immediately respond to a request for comment on the cash allegedly found down his pants, an incident that was widely reported in major Brazilian newspapers, citing unnamed sources. The federal police declined to comment, citing the confidentiality of the investigation. In a statement on Wednesday, the police said that they had carried out raids as part of an investigation into the possible misuse of congressional funding directed to the health secretary in Roraima to pay for the COVID-19 response. On Thursday, Bolsonaro said the police raid was evidence that his government was fighting graft. There is no corruption in my government, and we fight corruption, whoever it is. he told supporters outside his official residence. Bolsonaro's anti-graft credentials have faltered since the presidential campaign. His former Justice Minister, Sergio Moro, an immensely popular ex-judge who was known for his tough stance on corruption, resigned earlier this year, alleging Bolsonaro had sought to interfere in a police investigation for personal gain, an allegation Bolsonaro denies. The president's son is under investigation for graft in Rio de Janeiro. Bolsonaro and his son deny wrongdoing. So, I mean, this guy, he had like maybe 2,000, 3,000 pounds. So what's that, like $6,000 in his pants?
Well, I don't know Brazilian money.
No, well, it was like no, I don't know. But I mean, that's, maybe it said like 2,000 to 5,000 pounds. So I think that they're talking about British money, like there.
Yeah, British pounds is.
I know it's worth
more than ours.
It's worth more than ours. I know that.
Yeah, I mean, if you double it, let's say 6,000 tops. I mean, that's how much he had stuck in his pants. Like, are you really willing to like get in trouble for a few $1,000s? You can't explain that away. It's not like $1 million or something. $250,000.
Yeah, I don't know.
Did he have one of these big Brazilian butts I'm always hearing about?
A couple of G's in there, yeah, maybe.
Yeah, if you got $6,000, that's you're doing some. You got some storage space.
Yeah, and he didn't have actual pounds. He had like Brazilian currency, so it was like a lot more paper in his butt.
A wheelbarrow.
But it sounds like Bolsonaro has a pretty corrupt government.
Yeah, probably.
Like if his guys are getting caught and somebody else stepped down because he was asking for favors, then his whole campaign on corruption is pretty.
Yeah, I want to say Brazil in recent years has had a lot of corruption stories.
Their last prime minister also, I think, went to jail or something because she was caught with corruption cases.
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
Yeah.
Okay, I got one last little silly topic we'll go out on. Curious, when you guys are in the shower, how do you like to adjust the shower head? Do you like, the widespread light stream of water, or do you just like the one really hard, centrified like water hose on you?
The widespread light stream.
I don't know. I go both sometimes.
See, I'm like you. I like the widespread soft. I don't understand these people that are just like, yeah, give me one fucking concentration of water.
It's like a
hose me down.
Yeah.
massage. You just get.
It's not. No, the widespread one is the massage. The other one just feels irritating. Like I don't understand why anybody likes it.
Very well.
I mean, I guess maybe if you're really crusty and you got some real thick dirt on you that you really need a pressurized hose to get off. But I otherwise I don't understand what people see in that setting.
Yeah, that must be it. Maybe it's like to get mud and stuff off of you.
But I just remember like when we were kids, like every time I'd take a shower, like it would always be set on that direct fucking hose.
Somebody did
and I'm
that.
like, yeah, apparently somebody in our household or everybody really likes this setting.
Last year he's calling you out.
I don't know. Probably.
All right, guys. Well, everyone listening, whether you're a normal person who likes the widespread or you're a monster that likes that direct hose, make sure to please give us a like or give us a comment. Comment down below.
Yeah.
Let us know.
If you like it hard, tell us. If you like it soft, you can tell us that too. I guess.
I don't like that.
I don't really want to know about that, but he wants to know.
Oh, we want to know. Let us know in the comments. Also, make sure to give us a good review. Call your grandpappy and let him know he should be listening. All that good stuff. But I believe. Oh, one more time, guys. Where can everybody find you on Twitter? AJ.
A name for this too, and that's the number 2.
Lester.
At unsolicited SUG.
And you can, of course, find me at Zach Jones Live. ZACH is how you spell my name. The right way. All right. That'll do it for all of our shenanigans this week. See you guys next week. Bye.
Take
All right,
care,
guys. Have a good day.
Yep.